it all becomes a mess. We have to have a lot of different adapters, and it becomes difficult to use. Such a hassle, right? So in the data center industry, it's much the same, that we have many, many different systems from many vendors, many softwares that need to talk to each other. The second challenge here is we have a lot of different systems that we have to manage manually. And of course, our operators, they are good guys, but it's still a risk when we put a human in the loop. They can make some mistakes. They feel stressed when we have an alarming situation, and we want to reduce that type of risk as well. And of course, everyone loves to save energy. The government, they ask us to save so much energy every year, and the environmental organizations, they are also getting more and more vocal about saving energy in the data center business. For example, you know, these protesters, I'm not sure if you have them in Bangladesh, but in many countries, Greenpeace, they will come and protest, and it becomes a big fuss in the media. And the truth is that data center industry today, we are using more energy than the airline industry altogether. And everyone knows how much pressure the airline industry is under. So what we have to do to achieve this, we call it the industrialization of data centers. So ABB, we're a company, we have been doing industrialization and controls for industries many, many years. In some sense, the data center industry is still very young. We have had mining and oil and gas industries for hundreds of years. Data centers, not so much, right? It's only a decade or two. So there's still much to learn here. So we want to have very efficient operations. It should be highly available, never go down. And also we want to save energy while doing this. So these are the three main topics that I will go through today in my presentation. Improving the operations, reduce the risk, and save energy. So let's get started with the first one, improving the operations. So this is a typical example of how it can look like in a data center where we have a multitude of different systems, many different vendors. So we have what is called the BMS system. We can have EMS. We can have a chiller management system. We can have battery monitoring system. We can have a system for crack, chiller system. So many different kinds. Different vendors, different software, different protocols. Maybe it is okay when we first install them in the data center, but over a life cycle, maybe some of the vendors change, some go out of business, and it becomes difficult to maintain over time. So, as you can see here, this is what we typically have been doing in the past, but there is a better way. So that is to do the same approach that we have been doing for many years already for other type of industries, where we apply a more automation-oriented approach, that we tie these subsystems together with a supervisory system and sit on top. So the core of our technology, our heritage that we are using in the oil and gas or in the data center industry, this has been proven in the other industries as well. So what ABB did, we took our most reliable, most robust control system, and we adapted that to the data center market. So whatever modules were not needed, we took away. Whatever we had to add, we added. But our core comes from the industry, and that is what I think makes it so popular. It has all of the built-in redundancy, resilience, and we have a fantastic installed base, proven in over 12,000 installations all across the world. Of course, all of them are not for data centers, but in total it is like this. So our platform, it's called Decathlon. So basically the discipline is that we have on the lower level here, this is the communication layer in the bottom. So there we will have communication to all of the different interfaces, all of the different equipment that we need to talk to. All of it does not have to be ABB equipment. Of course, we like it if you use our switchgear. We would prefer that than the UPS, but of course we don't make crack and chiller, so you can get those from Stultz. Yeah. So that is where we tie into all of the different systems. On top of that, that is our core platform. So there we have all of our equipment libraries. We do the automation and control there. The alarming is handled. And since we are tying all of these systems into one common platform, the alarming, it's all synchronized. It's one common alarm list and so on. A lot of great benefits in that way. The third layer here, this is what we call the modules. So depending on what you need for your data center, you actually just put those modules in. So the most popular module, this is what is called the BMS module, or the building management system. Almost everyone needs that, and that is what ties into your cracks and so on. And the PMS, power management, this would be for energy metering, connecting to switchboards and so on. So we can scale that in many different ways. There are other modules, of course, as well, such as IT capacity planning, CFD modules, etc., maintenance modules. Layer, you can visualize the data in different ways, either in your command center or on web clients. So this is an example here of a dashboard, how it can look like in our system. We have this, of course, on level 5 as well, a real live demo. So if you haven't seen it yet, please drop by. I will be happy to show you. So here is a screen, and the intention here is just to show you that we tie into so many different systems in our platform: video systems, documentation system, we do the automation, we have the history, we have the trends. All of that is directly in our system. So the idea is that you don't have to anymore go to all of these different small consoles and log in with a password, use a different mouse and keyboard. Just use one system, and we have all of the data consolidated there directly. It's very easy to do the reporting because we have a common database, so you can get the energy report combined with cooling any way you like it. Yeah, it's a very powerful tool indeed. So this is how it looks like in the system, the object model. So with every asset, we have what is called aspects. These are the slices of information you see there. So we have what is called the documentation aspect, so that can contain the manual. If you have some calibration certificate or maintenance records, those are attached as well. So the information always follows the asset around. So that means that when the operator, he right-clicks, he's able to bring up all of the relevant information for a crack, for example. The trend, the alarm instructions that tell him how to handle any alarm that comes up in the crack, etc. Okay, so now I will just show a few different graphic slides. So multi-site capabilities, yes, we do that as well, supporting many different data centers. Here we see an example of some different KPIs. So tracking the PUE, the DCIE, the other metrics that ASHRAE support, we can have in our system as well. Here you see, for example, different floor space usage, what is my average power cost over the month, what we call the different heat maps, how the temperature is distributed across the floor. And zooming into a single floor, having an overview, you can have the 3D view, see the racks, how they are located, where the power is being used. Single line diagrams. So also if you want to look at this information from the electrical point of view, you can see that fully in the system as well. If there is a problem or a fault, like we have here, a tripped breaker, it will show us which parts of the data center could be affected by this trip. So it's very quick to fix these issues. And of course, mechanical systems is integrated as well. We have the chiller, cooling tower, buffer tank, all of that. And here, this is what we call the heat map. So this is actually a view of a data center floor from above. And we generate this in real time based on actual temperature sensors located on the data center floor. So this is different than a CFD, that is a computer simulation that you have to build this in full 3D. And then you run it for some time, and then you can get some result. This is typically generated in real time. And it's intended to support the operator in a visual way of seeing where the the hotspots are. So down here we have a bit of a hotspot. Up here we are wasting energy. So that could be optimized then, yeah. Planning and dashboarding. So this is now moving on into the IT asset management a bit. So being able to see where I have spare capacity to commission new racks, new equipment. We can drill down into the different server racks and see the contents, what is provisioned inside of these server racks. And as you can see here on the back of the individual servers, all of the network and power sockets are colored, and they will show if they are in use, if they are spare, and so on. So we are able to track to very, very detailed level to how every cable is connected in the data center. And that will assist in planning, right? So the goal with this is to get away from these big, heavy Excel files that is just a nightmare to maintain. If you have more than, I would say, 50 racks or something, the pain of Excel will really start to hit, and then it is a clever choice to look to one of these type of systems. And of course, getting other type of information, such as usage per suite, tracking usage of patch panel. And here we see a 3D view of the capacity where we have spare free space in the rack where the power is being used. All right, so that was the end of the first section here. I apologize if I'm running a little quick, but I'm doing this to catch up a little time. So the second here is how can we manage risk in the data center? Yeah? So there is many different kind of risks. One we can solve with hardware. The system is also fully redundant and cyber secure. And the third point is that we can save energy by using our energy saving controls. So with that, my presentation is finished, just about time, I hope. So yes, any questions?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Rana from Mother Telecommunication. It's an ISX operator. I have seen the racks, the cooling system. If we separate the cooling system racks in with classes, so it will be affected or not for better cooling?
Yes, I suppose it will be. This is what is normally called some kind of containment. ABB, we are not the supplier of containment solutions, but our controls, they will work with any type of containment that there is in the data center. So if you do have the containment, yeah, there is a good chance that you will be more energy efficient than if you don't have it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, then there seems that there are, yeah, one more question here.
Okay, thank you for giving me the chance. I would like to know about the interface with your system with energy equipment such as generator, pack, or other device. What kind of interface your system support?
Okay, this is a very good question actually, because our system, it supports, I would say, any interface. And the reason for this is I told you that this is the system that we are using for every industry, the core of it, right? So ABB, over 20 years, we have all of the interface, even with the old equipment, as the new. But for your question, generators, they typically have some kind of Modbus or backnet, hardwired or SNMP. And those are the most popular interfaces in the data center industry, and we have all of those.
That means RJ45, RS232,
yes.
And any SNMP?
Yes, we have all of those. So any brand, any communication, it's no issue. We are happy to talk to anyone. And also for some projects, we are doing more than to just read the data from the energy or from these generator type of systems. We are actually able to control them also from our system. So that means that if there, for example, is too little power coming in from the grid and not all of the energy generators are starting up, we can issue commands, what is called as a load shedding command, and that means that we take away the less important parts of the data center to make sure that our servers are always running. Yeah? So then we shut off the lighting, the air conditioning in the human areas, for example, rather than to have an uncontrolled power failure that can risk to shut down much more than we like.
Means we can control remotely any device by your system, right?
Absolutely. Our system, it is a full automation system, full control system. But in some cases, people prefer to have manual control still and just monitor and see on the screen if there is a problem and have an alarm. So we can do that also. But for this year and the year before, for 3 sites, we did full power automation, what I described to you, this load shedding for Ericsson, 2 in Europe and 1 in USA. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I am Shafat Ahmed from NCC Bank. I have 2 questions. One is, can I monitor your system from mobile? And second one is, do you have any project or you have implemented any project in Bangladesh for BMS system?
Okay. Yes, you certainly can have our screens visible in your mobile. We will make those screens different. So those are read-only for security reasons. So you will not be able to on and off anything from there, but you can see the same screens as what is in the data center and see the status and energy reading and if there is any problem, right? What we also do is we send out the SMS. So if there is any serious alarm, we can send it on the phone as well. For data centers, I don't believe ABB have sold the DCIM in Bangladesh so far, but I think we have sold a lot of products, electrification products, in many years to data centers already. But sure, we look forward to being the first, maybe with you, to have a DCIM there, yeah? So, yeah.
Do you have any exclusive training for a BMS system in Bangladesh? You are planning for training?
Sorry, can you
Actually,
repeat?
do you have any training program in BMS, Building Management System?
Yes, absolutely. For all of our deliveries, we will have an operator training, and that is for the end user. So they learn how to operate and use the system that is supplied. And that is normally very simple. It is 1 day or 2 days, just to show how to navigate what the different screens do and so on. But if you want to do more hands-on, if you want to change yourself, we support that. So you don't have to call ABB engineer all the time if you want to add something in your screen. That type of training program, those are standard training programs. They are typically 1 week, and you will learn how to use our system on a deeper level, right? How to take the backup and do engineering in that case.
Hi, I'm Asif. Can I monitor my IT equipment with your DCIM?
Okay, yeah, this is a good question. Because what I have shown on these screens, it's a lot about the electrical and the mechanical type of systems. And those we always monitor very detailed. The other part that we have is what is called the IT asset management, and this is the capacity and the planning and how to schedule work orders and decide in what places I have to put my servers, for example. So all of these features we have, but we are not a network monitoring system or a HP OpenView or patch management or software management. That is handled by other companies that are experts on those things, yeah. But certainly if there is a need, we have some kind of integration to these guys. If you want to, for example, send a work order up to HP OpenView, that has been done also. We have also had integrations with VMware vCenter. So in your planning tool, when you want to plan your servers, you are able to see in real time what virtual machines these are running.
How many details?
Yes.
Which level I can monitor or manage? Manage is possible? Remote manage is possible?
Yeah, we don't do this, the remote management of IT equipment and servers. that is normally handled by some kind of KVM system in that case, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any more questions, or are we ready to round off here? Yeah? Okay, well, yes, so we have our setup one floor above, and there we can see all of this that I have talked about. I can show you live, so I'm happy to have you all there. Well, with that said, thank you for listening to my presentation.